Well, it's 11:30 a.m. on a Monday. Good morning. Welcome to news from here on GHOne Television. We are live from our studios at the Platinum Place, Northridge. Also live on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube at GHOne TV. Here's what to expect in the next hour. NDC Communications team member calls for arrest of Reverend GHOne and Tim Kodjo by close of day today over claims of spreading false news.
Before the close of day, I expect the MP to be picked up because we have gone past the stage of collaboration.
Also, Private Health Facilities Association warned of dire consequences should the National Health Insurance Authority fail to honor pledge to pay them today. In business, Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Wamkele Mene, says Trump tariffs should be a wake-up call for Africa. Well, grateful for your company this morning. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. The details now, and private legal practitioner and a member of the National Democratic Congress's National Communications team, Hamza Suini, is urging the security services to arrest Asin South MP, Reverend GHOne in Tim Kodjo by close of day today. It follows what has become a murky war of words between the Asin South MP and Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwachofusu, over the alleged drug trafficking and money laundering involving Airmed aircrafts. Now, speaking on GH Today, Hamza Suini said the arrest is necessary to bring finality to the matter.
The processes that are taking place as far as the presidential directive is concerned. Okay. In any case, that directive was given by His Excellency the President. So what prevents the minister responsible for government communications and the presidential spokesperson from keeping us abreast with activities that have so far been undertaken by these intelligence agencies? You see, I think that the country has to move on. We are wasting precious time on the irresponsibility of Tim Kodjo. And as a country, we must not be seen entertaining this. We must move on and allow the security agencies to do their job. And when I say allow the security agencies to do their job, what I expect before the close of day, because my understanding is that Parliament is on recess.
Yes.
Before the close of day, I expect the MP to be picked up because we have gone past the stage of collaboration. He has clearly shown an intention not to collaborate with our security agencies.
Well, still on this development, a member of the New Patriotic Party's communications team, Kwesi Kwarteng, has intimated that the government has no commitment to investigating drug trafficking claims exposed by Reverend GHOne and Tim Kodjo. Now, according to him, the NDC is complicit in the allegations made by the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee. Hence, the attack on his person instead of focusing on investigating the claims. He also spoke on GH Today.
The other question that you journalists also should be able to ask is that why is it that they are not interested in investigating it? And it is even against the narrative that President Mahama gave, those information that is coming up. But from the post, I'm landing, but from the posture of the NDC, it is very clear that they are complicit in this matter. It is very clear that they are trying to conceal information. It is very clear that they are being excessively, excessively defensive. And we are telling them that investigation does not necessarily mean that you did it.
Association of Ghana says the association shall readily resort to drastic actions if the National Health Insurance Authority fails to honor its promise to pay claims owed the association. Now, in a statement released on April 6, 2025, the association announced the suspension of its earlier decision to halt healthcare services to NHIS cardholders following firm assurances from the National Health Insurance Authority. But speaking to GHOne News, the association stated that action will continue unabated, including measures such as the withdrawal of drugs to NHIS cardholders should the authority fail to honor its commitment. You're still watching news from here on GH1 television. We'll take a breather. We'll return with more. Do stay with us. Well, let's do some other stories. And former UN Senior Mediation Officer Emmanuel Bombande is making a strong case for teachers to be extra vigilant to prevent schools from transforming from safe learning environments into places of panic. Speaking to GHOne News on the recent shooting incident at the Adventist Senior High School, Mr. Bombande described the situation as unfortunate, with a call on both the state and parents to equally share in the blame. The shooting occurred on Friday, April 4. Now, according to reports from the school, an argument broke out amongst some students over whether a gun that one student brought to school was real. Now, in an attempt to prove it, the suspect allegedly fired the weapon, leading to the injuries. Now, one of the injured students, who is a girl who sustained a wound on her forehead, is currently receiving treatment at the Komfo Anochi Teaching Hospital.
Those who have these guns, and the state therefore should be able to know how they keep those guns and store it at home, so that we do not have a situation in which our school environment becomes, rather from being an environment of learning and formation at a young age, becomes an environment of fear, both for teachers and for school children who do not know what children are bringing to school. The challenge is, how are the teachers, except that every day for these students who come onto the school premise, they search all their bags, they won't be able to know what students are carrying. And to that extent, yes, the teachers should be able to have a certain intelligence about what is happening on their campuses by observing their students and trying to see what possibly some students could be carrying. But this duty is far less in terms of its prospects of making the desired impact. And the impact, therefore, of the school environment being free in the first place of such a weapon would be from home, and beginning from those parents who have bought these weapons but are not responsible in how they store and secure those weapons.
Well, let's have a conversation on this by speaking to Deputy PRO for the National Council of PTA, Irene Sam. Irene, thank you so much for joining us. So what does the Council make of the seeming surge in violence, especially in our senior high schools?
Good afternoon to your cherished listeners and viewers, and I'm happy for you having me here this afternoon. Let me also commend the media for the good work that you are doing for our nation, Ghana. Yes, initially, let me say that as a council, we are not so happy about the turn of events happening in our various schools in terms of violence, carrying of weapons here and there. Just about a few months ago, we saw a weapon of maybe the cutlass being sent to the school premises, and then today it's a gun. So it is so alarming and it's so disheartening, and we as a council, we frown on such activities, and we are not so happy about the turn of events going on in our senior high schools generally.
So, of course, you mentioned the incidents with a knife. The other time we were told of another one with scissors, among all of that. So, in light of all these incidents, what are we not getting right? Because clearly it is making our senior high schools a bit unsafe. And that's reason for your worry, I guess.
Yes, please. So, let me say that for us to ascertain or for us to minimize such acts, we must devise a multifaceted approach, in that we must see where the home will also play a role in here. We believe that our students or whatever is coming from a home and then might have brought that instrument or whatever it is to the school.
Right.
So how is the home environment also favoring the upbringing of our wards? How are we bringing up our wards in the home? Because for the home, that is our responsibility. As parents, it's for us to discipline our wards. It's for us to train them in the way that they should go. So what are some of the things that are going on in the home? That is also informing the behavior of our children. And then when they come to the school environment also, what is the prevailing issues there? What are the children seeing? The social media space, the immediate environment. What is the child being exposed to? We live in a world whereby we see violence everywhere. every now and then you hear somebody has stabbed somebody has shot somebody, here and there, violence everywhere. So that is also informing the behavior of our children. But in then the school environment also, we know that at a school, they must place some kind of measures in that, checking their things, and then when children go for SDS and they come back, there should be a way of checking their items, checking their things that they are brought to school, even from the gate, before they even enter the school premises. Because when we don't do all these things, then it turns out to be like this. And then also, our children too, we have to talk to them, because they must go by school rules. We know that GHOne frowns, the rules of GHOne frowns on you taking a weapon to school. And even that comes with a sanction. So why will you take a gun to school and then jeopardize somebody else's future? Somebody else's life is at stake. The whole school environment is not safe anymore. So we have to divert all this means, making sure that our school becomes a better place, a sound place for our world to study. And also the teachers will also be safe in the schools. Now, how safe is our teachers in the schools? How are they safe now? And even our children, how are they also safe? So let us devise all these means and see the way forward.
Irene, clearly a very disturbing situation there, but how is the council also intending to partner or liaise with the various authorities to ensure that we really put a lid on the situation in schools?
Yes, so for us on our front, what we do is that we educate the parents on the need to bring up our children the way that they should go at our various PTA levels, at our various management levels. We do that. And then also, we also seen that the way forward that we as an association we look at the issues at stake and then see how best we can partner, as I said, with school manager. Already we are doing that. In that we have a voice in there so that we can also talk to our parents and also our children. We must also talk to them for them to see the need for them to provide a safe environment for themselves and also for their school community. So as for that role, that collaborative role, we are playing it already and we'll still intensify it. As we speak now, we are now putting up a delegation to go to the school and see the issues there and see how best we can also come in and collaborate and help that the situation become calmer.
Okay. Irene, thank you so much. That's Irene Sam. She is Deputy PRO for the National Council of PTA. Now, let's turn our attention to some other stories. And for teacher trainees out there, I do have some good news for you. Now, the Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Student Loan Trust Fund, Dr. Sajida Shiraz, has revealed that all outstanding teacher trainee allowances will be paid this week. Now, it follows reports that since December 2024, the government has not paid any allowance. There's more in the following report.
The Minister of Finance, Dr. Kasiel Atuaforson, during the presentation of the 2025 budget, revealed that government will allocate some 203 million Ghana cedis for the payment of teacher trainee allowances and another 480 million Ghana cedis for nursing trainee allowances. Amid calls for the cancellation of these allowances, the government remains committed to sustaining the policy. Speaking at the Presbyterian Women's College of Education during a workshop, Acting CEO for Students Loan Trust Fund, Dr. Sajida Shiraz, says all outstanding teacher trainee allowances will be paid this week.
In the coming week, we'll be disbursing arrears for the 2023-2024 academic year to more than 65,000 teacher trainees across 46 public colleges of education. So we keep exploring in what ways we can enhance tertiary education financing. You've heard about the Student Loan Plus, which we are hoping would support more students as they seek to access tertiary education. If we are all here today, it's because we had access to educational opportunities, and as much as possible, I would like to extend that education or that opportunity to anyone who wants to pursue higher education.
President of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Swale Razak, while commending the government for sustaining the policy, called on the National Service Authority to immediately rescind the decision and accept reposting of teachers who have been posted to rural communities.
All we're saying is that, yes, the NSA has already posted a particular batch of the teacher trainees to the respective stations. We are appealing for them to actually accept reposting, to rescind their decision and accept reposting, and maybe consider a few of the people who have genuine issues to have access to special posting to their places of choice. This could, to the benefit of the country rather than the current system we are running.
Dean of Student Affairs at the Presbyterian Women's College of Education, Philomena Ado Esa, on her part, dismissed assertions that teachers can only work in the classroom without any side business.
They are going to nurture young children, and apart from the knowledge that they give out to the young children should also be exposed to other aspects of life. They may not learn it into details, but as a teacher teaches, examples that she uses to support children's learning can be learned from some of these skill training programs. So I think it is a very good program.
The theme for the workshop was Skills to Success, Sustainable Future for Women.
Now, Africa Education Watch has condemned the practice of imposing examination fees on parents of pupils in public basic schools, highlighting concerns over the potential exclusion of students from assessments due to financial constraints. Now, with term-end examinations scheduled to begin today, which is the 7th of April 2025, EduWatch, in a statement dated April 5, revealed that some school heads are demanding fees for examinations and printing, threatening to bar pupils whose parents fail to comply. Now, while EduWatch acknowledges the value of voluntary parental contributions towards school deployment, it insists that such contributions should align with policies governing free, compulsory, universal basic education, FCUBE. Now, citing the Pre-Tertiary Education Act of 2020, which is Act 1049, EduWatch emphasized that basic education in Ghana is free, compulsory and universal, with explicit provisions ensuring no child is excluded due to economic challenges. Additionally, EduWatch urged the Director General of the Ghana Education Service to guarantee that no pupil is denied access to end-of-term examinations due to unpaid fees. Now, the statement further called for disciplinary measures against school heads who exclude students based on financial constraints. And EduWatch concluded by emphasizing that the right to basic education is fundamental and unconditional, calling on the government to prioritize direct funding to uphold this principle. Well, let's go back to our earlier story where the Private Health Facilities Association of Ghana say they would readily resort to some drastic actions if the National Health Insurance Authority fails to honor a promise to pay claims owed them. Let's have a conversation with Frank Toblu Richard. He is the General Secretary of the Private Health Facilities Association of Ghana. Richard, thank you so much for joining us. Now, it's almost midday. Have you had any updates whatsoever on the assurance that was given you by the National Health Insurance Authority?
Yeah, thank you very much. And good morning, and good morning to everybody listening to us. As you are aware, we are not supposed to be where we are today. Assurances have come for a very long time, but nothing seems to be happening. So we are still watching our alerts. As soon as we start receiving such alerts, we will back down our demand.
The debt, how much are you owed?
As I speak to you, we are talking about over 150 million Ghana cedis. That is for all healthcare service providers that are on our network. Now, this value spans from some in arrears of 8 months, some 6 months, some 7 months, some 4 months. So the situation we have at hand is not uniform to the extent that anytime they pay, some providers' claims are skipped. For instance, when they are paying all providers for the month of June, some people are not paid, and these people continue to be skipped over and over and over. So we have a backlog of people who have not been paid over a relatively long period of time, and we cannot sit down to allow this to continue again. Basically, like I said, that is where we are where we are.
So how has that impacted the work that the services that you have to offer to the people of Ghana?
My brother, as we speak today, the healthcare service delivery is one of the most important services that Ghanaians would have to enjoy. I am saying this at the backdrop of the fact that when somebody collapses, for instance, as you and I speaking, assuming without any truth in it, that I collapse, somebody must carry me to a healthcare facility and I must be resuscitated immediately. Now, when I am at the hospital, there is no essential services. The facilities are not there to resuscitate me. What happens? Definitely, I'll be gone. So it's actually impacting. That is one side. The second part of the whole game is that we procure drugs and medical consumables from the open market. And when you come to the National Health Insurance list, my brother, we have a situation where you buy drugs at the price of 2 cedis and NHIS is telling you to give it to the client at 1 cedi. You are losing 1 cedi from the beginning of providing service to the people of Ghana. Now, if you multiply that by the number of people you see per month, and then you multiply it for the whole year, you realize that you are always losing money, and yet the money is not coming on a monthly basis. So at the end of the day, you work and give back. Aside that, SNIT is always on our neck, taking most of our members to court. GRA is also there, sending us to court. ECG is disconnecting some of our facilities. And this is the situation we find ourselves. So when you talk of impact, this is the real impact that we are talking about.
So we are hopeful, or we are hoping that the NHI will stick to its word, and then maybe by close of day today, you see some disbursements being done. But in the long term, what mechanisms or reforms would you propose be put in place in terms of disbursement so that we do not come back to a situation as unfortunate as what we are finding ourselves in now?
NHIA has been established by an Act of Parliament as 650 as amended 852/2012. Okay. Now, the provisions in this particular law is very clear. All we need to do is to have health insurance fund. Okay, the monies that are collected from the health insurance levy must go direct into the health insurance fund instead of passing it through the consolidated fund, going to the Bank of Ghana through controller. I mean, the process is just too long. Sometimes we sympathize with NHIA as an institution because some of us are very much aware about the processes that the money would have to go through before reaching us. So what is the essence of having the health insurance fund? We are advocating or strongly suggesting to the government that, look, when you receive the money, let it go into the health insurance fund, and the health insurance will disburse it from there. It is only when that is done that we will have a clear way to have a very good healthcare services in this country. Aside that, we're going to have this challenge over and over and over. Despite the fact that the NHIA funds has been uncapped, it will still amount to nothing if the money is not given to the NHIA direct to pay the healthcare service providers, rather than going through the consolidated, the controller and accountant general, the Bank of Ghana, before the money coming to us. So basically, I mean, honestly, that is it.
So we should have a health insurance fund dedicated to making these things happen instead of going through the consolidated.
It is already there,
right?
Just that they are not
paying directly into it.
In the Act.
Right.
The health insurance fund account is there. So why are they not implementing what is called health insurance fund account? Because when you have health insurance fund account, it makes things very simple, very easy.
Right. Well, so that's Frank Toblu Richard. He is General Secretary of the Private Health Facilities Association of Ghana. Point well made. They are still hopeful that by close of day today, as promised them by the National Health Insurance Authority, they would have their claims paid. But in the long term, he says, let's activate the Health Insurance Fund and make sure that the payments are made directly to the fund instead of going through the process that he has to go through now. The management of Achimota Hospital has been tasked with implementing modern maintenance systems to sustain the facility's recent renovations, courtesy Stand in the Gap Kindred International, a non-governmental organization. Now, this significant upgrade has transformed the hospital into a more user-friendly and efficient healthcare delivery space, enhancing the overall patient experience. There's more in the following report.
The Achimota Hospital has seen a notable upgrade to its child and outpatient facilities following renovation works undertaken by Stand in the Gap Kendrick International, a Christian interdenominational NGO dedicated to serving both God and humanity. The initiative was aimed at improving hygiene and comfort for both patients and healthcare workers and improving healthcare services for the users. Sharon Amanda Kwe, a member of the project committee of Stand in the Gap Kendrick International, speaking on behalf of the founder, Reverend Vera Norman Addo, charged management of the hospital to adopt pragmatic measures to preserve the facility.
Yes, it's one thing to just put the facility in place, but when it comes to maintenance issue, if we don't focus within a very short time, we see that the facility breaks down again. So yes, we've spoken to them and they've assured us that they will take up the maintenance issues and to have a facilities management plan for the facility, that we have installed, for them to find a way of educating the patients, especially when it comes to the use of the toilet facilities, hand washing, knowing that hygiene is one of the barriers against infections.
Hospital Administrator Bernard Fifi Pole described the improvements on the facility as timely, noting their impact on patients' well-being.
This is a very important activity they've undertaken, and we are not taking it lightly at all. Once the place is being given a facelift, you realize that our staff are really happy, they are excited, they are very motivated to be working in such a very clean, a very nice environment. And of course, it's also not just the staff, our clients are equally happy. And we believe that it's even making the place a bit therapeutic in nature.
The renovation focused on key areas of the hospital, including the children's outpatient departments, the general OPD, and washrooms. In addition to the renovations,
and obviously the MPP called her to account, saying that her utterances are going against their constitution. Yesterday, however, they sent a letter out saying that they are going to indefinitely postpone that invitation. So here is what you had to say on the matter. Sam says there was no freedom of speech during their time. They don't have that power, so they only intimidate who they can. This is why they should never come back again. We also have Kay. They just want to the focus to remain on Intim Kodjo. Smart. We also have Juliet. MPP is so crooked, even their own party is rife with corruption. We also have our next comment from Azuzimi, Omusro Ajwa. Then Emmanuel says, MPP running away from Ajwa. MPP has just realized that inviting Ajwa Safo was a political risk and a miscalculation. Mahmoud says, simply, we don't care. We also have here Felix. She literally told them, ain't coming today, ain't coming tomorrow, ain't coming till the world ends. We have Jacob here. Strangely enough, some members were immediately suspended during and after the 2024 elections, and she gets internal consideration. Then we have Davi. Am I the only one who feels she's informally refused the invitation, and this new communique from the party is to save face? Kodjo says, after gagging her, you want her to show up? And we have Abdul Rauf. Exposing the drug traffickers is our top priority now. That's what he is saying. And our last comment here, saying simply, the MPP are confused people. Well, that's what you had to tell us. Continue to send us your messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X. formerly Twitter. My name is Nanama Akwa. Let's see moving forward whether she gets re-invited or they will never invite her again. Joshua, back over to you.
Well, many thanks, Nanama Akwa, for letting us know exactly what is trending on social media regards Adwoa Safo. But it's time to bring you business. Well, in business, Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Mensah, has indicated that the various tariffs imposed on African products entering the United States is a wake-up call for the continent to consolidate intra-continental trade. According to him, this crisis should be converted into economic prosperity by harmonizing trade on the continent. He made the comments during a signing of a memorandum of understanding between the AFTA Secretariat and the National Bar Association.
The D4J project, developed in partnership with GIZ under the German corporation's Invest for Jobs, seeks to dismantle systematic barriers faced by persons with disabilities by providing tailored digital literacy training, business tools and coaching targeting 50 PWD-led enterprises. The initiative, which is also aimed at creating 100 new jobs by 2025, aligns with key sustainable development goals such as SDG 5, 8, 9, and 10. Chief Executive of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, Margaret Ansai, during the launch of the program, underscored the project's transformative potential in promoting inclusivity and driving economic empowerment across Ghana's SME ecosystem.
Today marks not just the commencement of a project, but the dawn of a new era of inclusivity and empowerment within Ghana's vibrant entrepreneurial landscape. The statistics strictly presented in the 2021 Population and Housing Census paint a clear picture. Approximately 8% of our population are fellow citizens with varying degrees of difficulty in performing activities, are often marginalized and face significant barriers in accessing economic opportunities.
She further explained that the project aligns with government's vision of inclusive economic growth and digital transformation.
We are reaffirming our commitment to a Ghana where every citizen, regardless of their abilities, can contribute their talents and realize their entrepreneurial dreams. We are sending a clear message that persons with disability are not on the periphery of our economic agenda, but they are integral to our success.
Meanwhile, team lead of the Invest for Job project, John Duty, urged women to take advantage of the opportunity and sign up for the project to help them grow and expand their businesses and create more jobs in the country.
Well, we apologize there. That's rather the story on the Ghana Enterprises Agency calling for inclusivity for SMEs, innovation, among others. Let's now bring you the story on Wamkele Mene on the Trump tariffs.
On April 3, 2025, President Donald Trump announced the imposition of trade tariffs on countries, including those on the continent of Africa. Ghana received a share of 10%, with Lesotho 50% being the highest on the continent. Delivering a speech at the signing of the MOU, Wamkele Mene emphasized the importance of trade liberalization across the continent of Africa, citing the American tariffs as a wake-up call.
Given the announcement that was made about the direction that the United States is taking in respect of trade policy, particularly as it relates to the continent of Africa, I therefore have to express a view. The ministers of trade will meet on the 14th of April to deliberate on this matter and exactly how our continent should respond. What I can tell you now is that this signals and should compel us as Africans to accelerate developing a commercially viable trade market in Africa. What is clear is that we cannot rely on markets in other parts of the world for our own prosperity as a continent.
On his part, Willie Adams, president of the National Bar Association, highlighted the crucial role the diaspora, especially legal professionals, can play in economic and trade integration of Africa and called for effective collaboration.
This is why our partnership matters. The diaspora has a vital role to play. We are not disconnected from Africa's future. We are a part of it. We bring legal expertise, global networks, and a deep-rooted passion to see Africa rise. Now more than ever, Africa's success is the world's success, and especially our success. With a population of over 1.4 billion people and a median age of 19, Africa is the youngest and one of the fastest growing regions in the world. By 2050, 1 in 4 people on this planet will be African. But for this demographic dividend to become an economic one, we must accelerate the implementation of the AFCFTA, and we must do so with urgency.
The memorandum provides a platform for engaging dialogue on the legal and economic frameworks that support trade and investment across the African continent. It also aims to strengthen diaspora engagement in the AFCFTA through formalized cooperation between the Secretariat and the American National Bar Association.
Well, so that's it for business here on GHOne Newsroom. It's time to bring you more stories in the bulletin. Stick and stay with us. Well, it's time now to bring you the latest updates by way of sports. And Nana Ama Ajiman has joined me. Nana, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing too?
I'm okay. We're managing. But what's happening in sports today?
In sports this afternoon, BBNE Gold Stars' hope of moving to the top of the Ghana Premier League suffered a setback as they lost to Dreams FC. Accra Hearts of Oak marked their return to the Accra Sports Stadium with an narrow win over Midiama SC after beating the Tokwa side 1-0. Defending champion Samates inflicted a painful 2-1 defeat on Accra Lions, deepening their survival woes. Legon Cities brought an end to their 10-match losing away streak from home with a Hartford goalless draw against Young Apostles. Kwando Hearts of Lions missed the chance to close the Gabon lead as Kumasi Asante Kotoko after playing out a 1-1 draw with the Porcupine Warriors. Let's hear from both coaches reacting after the game.
Just a slight loss of focus when we started the second half that led to the equalizer. I think apart from that, I think we were very focused. We had a good structure. We created some good counter-attack situations, which were very good for us. So, to me, I'm okay with the way they played. We sat a little bit back, trying to observe what they would do. And then I think from the 15th minute going, we came into the game and also started playing. But then I'm sure they were just, I didn't tell them that, but I'm sure the players themselves decided to observe how they were playing. In any case, too, we had also trained on the counter-attack, so probably they were trying to sit a little bit to get the ball and then just hit them on the counter.
We'll take it like that. They fought very hard. We made everything to make sure we beat them. But the first goal they got made us, fight from behind. So it's good. It's good. It was a tough match. So somebody who has fallen once for you, he will not come here for the second time. But it's okay. The boys fought very well. The goal didn't come. We splitted the point. So we take.
To other stories, the Black Queens secured a 1-0 win over Senegal Teranga Lioness in an international friendly on Saturday. Evelyn Bedu scored a decisive goal with a header in the 24th minute following a precise cross from Princess Marfo. Speaking after the game, coach for the Black Queens, Kim Lass, says the game was tough.
Of course, it's professional football. You're always happy when you win. For us, it was the one or the most important thing to win the game. We knew before the game it was a tough game for us, a tough away game. We knew that Senegal can be physical. I felt the start was pretty good. I would say the first 30
On the international front, Southampton have reached an agreement with manager Ivan Juric to leave following relegation from the Premier League on Sunday. Juric was appointed as Russell Martin's successor on an 18-man deal in December, but has won just 2 of his 16 matches. Sunday's 3-1 defeat at Tottenham, the rock bottom signed to the earliest relegation Premier League history with 8 games still to play. The loss against Spurs was Southampton's 25th of the season to the league. Ivan came in to Southampton at a tough time and was tasked with trying to improve a squad in a difficult situation, Southampton said. Unfortunately, we haven't seen performances progress the way we had hoped, but we would like to thank Ivan and his staff for their honesty and hard work as they fought against the odds to try to keep us up. That is a statement from Southampton. That is all for sports here on Newsroom. Back to you, Joshua.
Many thanks, Nana Ama Ajiman.
Thank you for breaking down my name. Very important.
You have a wonderful day. Let's bring you now.
Grateful to the Almighty God. My first thing in South Africa is just to tour around and see the nice places in South Africa. So with that is when we are going to see the next step. Yeah.
It means amazing. This is a testament to the support everyone has given me thus far, a testament to my hard work as well. So I'm quite excited. And I'm always encouraging people to take a chance on themselves. So I took a chance. That's where it brought me. You never know where it will bring you. So I encourage you, take a chance. Love you.